I had no idea what to do there.
Perfect.
Well, we know how this one opens.
You are listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Welcome everyone to Cultober.
Yay!
Today we are. Let's get a yay from Ursa.
Woo! It's a nice solid woo. Serviceable.
Full disclosure: sharing microphones this episode.
Yes.
Today we are reviewing The Faculty.
Yay!
Awesome.
Awesome.
Me and Ursa are sharing a sound dick.
Sharing a sound dick.
Sharing as you try it.
Pass that sound dick around.
The Faculty, a 1998 American teen science fiction horror film, directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Which I did not
Robert
know.
Rodriguez.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was Robert
He makes
Rodriguez.
so many movies you don't realize it's him.
It's because he's not really like flashy about getting his name out there. As long as he
Just
he
good
just
work.
seems to like to do his job.
Like that whole fucking, he loves making movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he loves helping. He used to do, I don't know if he still does it, but he used to do the thing where he budgeted your movie if you won that, like the competition thing.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
That's interesting.
There's a competition for that
There
he used
be.
to
I don't know
do.
if there still is. or not.
Interesting.
And then it was written by Kevin Williamson. What do we know him from?
He did Scream.
Yeah, if you were a teenager in the 2000s, he made a lot of content that statistically you watched. He was one of the writers on Scream, and I think he was like the main writer on I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, that was his. That was definitely all his. Because like I saw several references where he's like, "I Know What You Did This Summer" was his script.
Yeah.
Same with the
Right,
Faculty,
yeah.
and then I think he was primary writer.
Movie, I thought.
Well,
I
that's
never saw that summer.
that's kind of a good point with this film because the screenplay is technically credited to Kevin Williamson. It was a story by Bruce Kimmel and David Wetcher, but he rewrote their script so much that he got screenplay by.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
sorry.
say,
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original story is just like some generic teen alien invasion.
right, and that's kind of what I had read. Is that
From the 50s?
I don't question mark.
no, I don't think so. I think they
were.
were just wanting to put out like a generic alien horror film, and then when they gave it to this guy, he was like, "Okay, but also this sucks."
Oh, Robert
Pretty
Rodriguez
amazing how
edited this
long
too.
He
He's
usually
also
does.
the editor.
Oh, he was the editor. Oh, nice.
It's kind of amazing how long they'll hold on to properties. So I mean, they'll hold on to shit for a long time.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
We got starring Jordana Brewster. Is that how you say that name?
I think so.
That looks correct to me.
Clay Duvall, Laura.
Wait,
Harris.
when did this come out?
98.
So this was right before Brewster there did Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious.
Ah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's her. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Dominic Toretto's
Uh,
younger sister.
Family.
Laura Harris, Josh Hartnett, Sean Hatosi,
Hatosi.
Famke Genesis.
Names are hard.
Johnson.
You want me to finish them out?
Sure,
for
go
you?
ahead.
All right. Piper Laurie, BB Newirth, or Bebe Newirth? Question mark.
Question mark. A lot of names.
There
okay.
are a lot of names.
This actually had quite a broad cast.
It did
Oh,
have.
yeah.
It did have the cast.
Robert-
John Stewart.
Yep. John
John
Stewart. was
Stewart.
in
John
it.
Stewart.
Salma
He's
Hayek.
not starring John Stewart, but he's definitely in
yeah.
there.
Oh, I forgot
Usher
Salma Hayek
Raymond.
was in it. I already forgot Salma Hayek.
Yep. And Elijah Wood.
Now, Eric, you're
Pre Lord of the Rings, Elijah Wood.
Yes.
pre-Lord. When did Lord of the Rings come out?
Oh God.
It was like
You know,
2000.
1, 2. Oh,
that's-
Fellowship was 2001.
okay. I
gonna
thought
say,
it was 1.
it was either 2001
Yeah.
or 2.
So not
How
too
old?
far off.
How old
Yeah.
does that make you fucking feel that came out 20 years ago?
Wow. Well, that just makes
Don't open
makes
that
it a
door.
classic now. I grew up
Oh.
along with a classic.
Oh,
Just so you know, old does not mean classic. And while one thing
No, but
may
in
be
this
old and
case,
classic, that
yeah.
doesn't mean that you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Oh.
Oh,
that's okay. The
Okay.
Lord of the Rings
Now
still
you-
is.
you was already
Well,
looking
it was
at
a classic before it was that fucking movie.
That is extremely true.
So you were looking at the stats already, so you don't get to answer, Eric. Was you looking
Okay.
at the stats already, Ian?
I looked at the cast, but not the stats.
Okay, so what's our guess on the budget?
60 million.
15 million.
No, not 60. That's probably what it made.
20 million.
Give him the budget.
Oh my God. Okay, so the budget was $15 million.
Oh, who
Guess
said
what
that?
it made? 63.2 million.
Aha, see,
I almost shit with how close both of you were.
Just
Didn't we
with your
discuss
guesses.
this before
No,
when we
13
watched the
Ghosts.
movie?
we might have
Oh,
discussed it
Wait,
before.
oh my god, it was. Ooh, weird. They kind of
because we watched this movie and then we watched that movie and talked about that movie. And now we're talking about this.
right. And didn't 13 Ghosts have fairly similar numbers on the
Really?
budget and box office, or am I recalling that wrong?
You might be recalling it semi-correctly.
Let me see.
Oh boy, now we're gonna look that up.
I remember they had a lot of promotion behind this movie when it came out.
The Faculty?
Huh?
Yeah, the box office on 13 Ghosts was 68.5 million.
Yeah.
Budget was 42.
Okay, so the budget wasn't close, but the box office was.
So I was a little too young. So I definitely saw this movie. I don't think I saw it in theaters, but I saw it pretty young. But I was too young to remember the hype behind it or the.
Well, before we get too deep into that, what's our catch to get us into the next section?
Cultober time breakdown.
I'm not putting that hack drug up my nose. It's so 80s.
Aliens are taking over the Earth. Wait. Guaranteed to jack you up.
All right, before we get into the breakdown of the Faculty, we're going to go over some first memories with this.
Yeah.
Eric, let's start with you. We'll go around the table here.
Okay. So I have a very, very first off, this probably counts as my first time through this, really, all the way through that I would remember. But I have a very vague, memory of watching this, the scene where the guy's kind of in the doorway looking through the glass at someone else.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was
After
the
he
first.
just ran up and high-fived the whole football team and then
Right.
came back. Yeah.
Right. So that's the part I can remember, seeing much younger.
Yeah.
It was really creepy. I had no idea. I didn't understand the gist of the movie from that one scene.
Say
at that
98,
point. I
how
was
old
pretty
were you at
freaked
the
out.
time?
That would have made me 10, 11,
98?
89.
Yeah, you would have been like 9.
I would have been 9. So I was close.
Close.
So I was 9 years old when it came out, but that might not have been when I saw it.
All right. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, how about yourself? How old were you first?
So I.
In 98, that is. Not when you
Oh,
seen
I
it
was
first.
10.
10.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know when I first saw it, but it was definitely back when Sci-Fi actually showed movies.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
actually a channel worth watching. That was when I definitely
Back when it was the eyes instead of the Ys?
yeah.
Mhm.
Back when it knew exactly what it was there for. You know, you had your 13 days of Halloween and all that stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, I remember that.
So it was on that, but I remember the posters for it. So I saw it there, and then I had to go rent it because I was like, TV version doesn't count. So I remember seeing it that we had this old movie rental store that was in the parking lot of one of our McDonald's, and it was called Channel 1, and this place was shady as fuck. It was one of those ones that was had the tile bathroom floors that are in gas stations.
Yeah.
The whole floor was that.
They
Everywhere-
just spray it off. That's
I
all.
don't know. And they also had the beaded back room.
Mm.
Only when you looked down in it, it was really small and cramped and not very well lit. So you're like, you can't even. I don't want to. It's like, don't. You're like, don't worry.
Yeah, no fears of me going back there. Don't
So
just-
it was one of those places, and they had, and it's so our town had this weird dichotomy when I was growing up, and certainly when you guys were growing up, there was the good movie theater and the bad movie theater, the good movie rental place and the bad movie rental place.
Yes.
And so, the kind of scummy bad theater had all the horror movies and stuff, and the good theater got Star Wars and whatnot. The same thing with this movie rental place. Channel 1 got all the horror movies and stuff. So that's where I went and rented it, and I watched it, and I really loved it.
Really love it. What about you, Ursa?
Well, I was 13 when this movie came out.
Older than us.
Yes. Just as I am now.
I'm catching up. I'll catch up to you in no time.
I didn't watch it in theaters. I don't think as a kid I didn't go to the theaters very often. It was a handful of times I ever went to the theaters as a kid. We rented it when it came out. And that was my mom rented it.
Yeah.
That was a thing. That DVD got a lot of use when we had it for the rental though.
Rental. That'd be you now, Ian.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how old I was, but I definitely didn't see it in theaters. Well, okay, I would have been 8 when it came out. I don't know how old I was when I saw it, but I probably would have been 12, maybe 13 at the oldest. But I saw it on TV. So, like, all the language and the boobies were edited out. Yeah. It wasn't until a few years later that I saw the actual, like, uncut movie. But yeah, it's always been a favorite. It was one of those movies that I would like talk to my friends about, and they'd be like, "What? I've never even fucking heard of that." I'm like, "What?" I think I could safely say that was probably my first cult movie.
Oh, nice.
Where it was like a movie I knew that nobody else knew, and I was like, "How do you not know this movie?"
Right.
Yeah.
I'm amazed. I'm serious. There was a lot of hype behind this movie when it came out.
Yeah, it's strange the amount of people that really haven't watched it. Really, yeah.
Especially because like the whole cover for the Pink Floyd song.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of MTV back then, so maybe that's where it was from.
Yeah,
like all the hype.
Yeah, like younger people and stuff not seeing it. Sure, I'll give you a pass. It's not your time.
Right.
But anyone like our age, why haven't you watched it?
Right.
That's kind of. I think I have to deal with that with the girlfriend Anna because she hasn't watched it. I'm like, because I was explaining the plot. She's like, I don't know. It's like, what did you do as a child?
What amazes me is all these like the actors and stuff that we hang out with, and they've not seen like any fucking movies, and I'm like, how?
Oh yeah,
what do you mean?
All the actors we work with, they really don't. Like,
Oh boy, that's a podcast for another day.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We'll try to give them like a very well-known, like this was a president to be this film set, and they're like, I never watched it. Like, how are you in this business?
Right. Yeah. And I'm not one of those people that's like, you absolutely must see the classics.
Right.
Some of them, like, I just don't fucking like. But then there are movies where I'm like, no, I get why this was a big deal. And I feel like that's something people should watch. I hate being the one who's like, you need to watch certain movies. But like, I watched Mr. Sunday Movies stuff on YouTube, and they were talking about how if you look at pre-Matrix action movies in the 90s and then like post-Matrix action movies in the 2000s, how much that movie changed things. And it's like, that's one of those movies where, like, if you really like action movies, for example, it's like, that's the kind of movie that's like, you should watch this at least to appreciate it. Just watch it once to be like, I understand why that movie was important.
Just watch it for the edge. Just don't cut yourself.
Right. Yeah. Just put on those thin sunglasses and the black trench coat.
Hey, listen, I still maintain
leather.
I maintain that if you had chopped off the second and third, and then I'm not even going to touch the new one that's getting ready to come out. If you had just left The Matrix as a single film, it would have gone down in history as one of the films that altered Hollywood forever.
It still does, regardless.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That first movie was like literally groundbreaking. The CGI and the effects they did in it. Especially back then, it was like, oh my God, how the fuck are they doing this?
Yeah.
And I saw somebody pointed out it was like there weren't a lot of Western action movies that were doing longer takes with fight scenes. That tended to be more of a Chinese Hong Kong movie thing. And The Matrix was like, well, let's start doing that where we actually keep the action on the actors for several seconds so they actually have to do the fight.
Oh, yeah. They all picked up real skills in that film.
We should probably circle back around to The Faculty, though.
Yeah, we should.
I guess the point I was making, though, is The Faculty is not one of those, like, important movies like The Matrix, but it's like, if you really like Scream era movies, you should for sure watch The Faculty if you haven't already. Like, if those kind of movies appeal to you, this is like the sci-fi monster movie of that subgenre.
Right. And getting to my memories of it, it's just always been a part of my life, I guess, because I was like 8 years old at the time. And that's when, I'm watching, I began my life at 8 years old. It's fine.
Sure.
So it's just always been there. This has never been a movie I could think it was like absent in my time.
Right.
So
you saw it so young that it's just always been
around. I was, because I didn't watch it in theaters. I know that a lot of my stuff I didn't watch in theaters. I was raised in like a Christian, very strict Christian type household.
Oh, right.
So any kind of film such as this.
No booby monster movie for you.
Yeah, but, my cousin that babysat us, we got to watch a lot of stuff. So,
nice.
So she
like you instinctively threw babysit up there in quotes.
We could have found someone more responsible. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So who remembers this plot the best starting out?
Probably Ben, but I could. You
Give
already,
us a start,
we already
Ben.
made
We'll-
you do
we'll-
13 ghosts.
We'll pass. We'll pass the baton
you
around.
don't have
Just
to if you, but
get,
Okay,
get as
well,
far as you
I
can.
Will help a lot.
I was gonna say, why don't we just play pass around us?
There we
Get as
go.
far as you can. and we'll
Yeah,
move
okay.
on.
So it opens up at night in the high school, right? With the I believe no, it's not night. It's actually right at the end of the school day. The teachers are
practice.
teachers are having a meeting, and they're talking about how like they don't have money for shit.
oh right, because the
Yeah.
football team.
Oh yeah,
gets
it's like
it
a
all.
big budget meeting.
Didn't we see the coach first and realize how big of a prick he was, or did that happen after the?
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah, it
okay.
opens up with football practice, and yeah, they all leave, and he's screaming at everybody.
Flips the fucking bench.
He
Boy,
does.
did he
Oh, that's
overreact
right.
flipping that bench.
right. And it goes from him to inside the building. Where
Like,
they're
not
ha-
only
where they're
did he
having
flip
their
the bench over, first of all, he ran to flip
Oh,
the bench
right.
over.
So that's the part that I was like, Jesus, because like I mean, listen, I'm all for like lashing out at physical things in anger
Yeah.
as long as they're inanimate objects,
Right.
right? But to have like purposely strode over,
Right.
So ridiculous.
like you know what it felt like is if you could actually hear the audio from that, like he was supposed to turn around and it was right there, and he turned around and he went shit and just took off running.
Probably what it was.
and you just if they had the audio, you just hit him like, hold on guys, I'm getting there. All right, flip. And they're like, fuck it, it works. Add the music to it.
It was perfect. But yeah, that
So-
does lead us into the budget meeting.
Into the budget
Yeah.
meeting, and we find out that the
Football team gets all the money.
football team gets all the money, and the
Who was-
the
what was the teacher?
fucking drama kids get nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the one who was the math was he a math teacher or the history teacher?
He was the history
He was
teacher.
pissed because he couldn't get a field trip to New York City.
Oh no,
or
wait, that was the math teacher. That's
Was the
right.
math
That's like his only appearance, the only like lines that he has. Because there's the history. Or no, is that the history teacher, the drunk?
the drunk. Yeah, it was the drunk.
That's the history teacher.
Yeah.
So the history teacher wants to go to New York. She says no goddamn way. The drama teacher wants a new set for the play. She says reuse the set from our town, which
and
is
she was like, I'm damn sure all those. Yeah, we
That
do
was such
Dower
a
Town.
good-
thing.
which
show.
our town. Yeah, for those of you that don't know this, that's actually kind of a funny little jab because our town was written with having a bare stage.
Yep.
So when
Yeah.
she's like, you can just reuse that set, it's like you cunt.
We're using that set.
But so yeah, she's like, and
And
the
they're-
history teacher's like, oh, I suppose the football team's gonna get the new uniforms and the new stadium and new everything. She's like, yes, that's because that's what these parents want. That's what makes money in our town. And as people that grew up in Ohio, I actually don't think it was quite that bad where we grew up football. But I mean, it's
Right.
pretty goddamn important compared
Right.
to other
I
things.
mean, if
Right.
anyone that went to like Paint Valley, I guess Paint Valley was pretty major like that.
I'm
So
willing
I went
bet.
to Paint Valley up until the middle of middle school.
Yeah.
So it wasn't.
When
I mean, it wasn't to the point where it's like you have a sign on the air conditioner. It's like no air conditioning. It's like, but the football team's getting everything. It's like no.
I think that's just something.
Right.
It's something to do with.
Fucking fireworks on game day. They got.
Oh,
fireworks.
yeah,
yeah,
they had a
Pyrotechnics
fireworks display.
supervisor and
we'll
shit.
get to that. It was an overdone spectacle for
So-
sure
It's
for
just
their
a
first
Midwest
game.
Well, was that supposed to be the home game? The
that
homecoming
was their
game,
first
though?
game of the season,
Oh, first game of the
Ah,
season.
okay.
So,
which still
so-
don't warrant that.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
but there might be more rich
Like,
towns.
good lord, you can't let him run the air conditioning because you need fucking fireworks. Calm the fuck down, dude.
But anyway, this meeting goes on until the nighttime, and they're
Yep.
all leaving when the principal forgets her keys.
Yep.
And she is going to go back in.
She goes to her
She goes to get her key.
office.
Yep.
Turns around and the coach is there.
Yeah,
I
oh,
think.
that's right.
Runs
Yeah.
right
Being all
into it.
sketchy.
Right, and he says, "You're looking very pretty today."
Yeah, that was it.
It looked like maybe I'm reading too much into this, but it looked like they had interactions like that in the past.
It kind of the way they were playing off each other.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Hmm.
So that's
kinda
why she
seemed
wasn't
that
like
way.
at full alarm yet or anything.
Right.
Because it
Right.
was
And
very
then-
like, you're just go home,
Yeah.
sleep it off. You know?
Yep, like he
Right.
was drunk. Yep.
Yeah.
And
Again, Frank. Fuck.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
She kind of did think he was drunk. That's right.
Oh,
right,
whoa.
so he like comes up and is kind of flirty with her until he very gingerly takes her hand and then shoves a pencil through her palm.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And boy, did they do that good.
They did.
Yeah.
It hurts my
So
hand
good.
thinking about it.
And so she hits him in the face with the keys, but she ends up
Slashes
dropping
him.
him, doesn't she?
Yeah, she drops her keys because she punches swings
like
and
struggling around on a desk or something. And she,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep,
but
so
it
she-
leaves a big scratch across his face from the
Right.
keys.
God.
And,
Yep,
his
and she
face.
runs out and gets to the front door where the drama teacher is, but it's actually locked. And she's like, "Fuck, I forgot my keys."
Yeah.
And
she's like, "Let me go get help." I'm like, no.
She's like, "Stay there and kind of talk me through this, otherwise I'm going to shit my britches." Which I mean, I understand. I don't know, so I don't know which one I would have done at that point because let's be honest, like cell phones were not like really a thing back then.
No.
Right.
Not like they are now. And that lady clearly didn't have one. And I'm sure she would have moved with all post haste, but how fast is she really getting help compared to you being locked inside the building with that psycho?
Right.
So it might be better off just to have her be a lookout down that hallway as you creep around.
Yeah.
So
Something.
it might not be as dumb as it sounds, although
Okay.
it's still a questionable call
Yeah.
about not letting her go to get help. So she creeps in and gets her keys when he comes over the PA system and says, "Would you please report to the principal's office?" And she comes down in the hall and she's getting ready to creep out when the lady lets her know that the coach is behind her.
Joe.
And so she runs to the door and she's fucking with the lock. He's running at her.
Which this moment is.
I feel like he would have caught her.
Yeah.
Well, that whole scene was a homage to him being in the Terminator.
Yes.
His running
Yep,
in the
that
Terminator.
run.
Was
Right,
exactly
I
right.
understand that, but I feel like his velocity plus
Oh,
the
yeah.
size of the hallway
Oh, he
equals.
had her. There was no
Yeah.
doubt in my
Right.
mind he had her.
Definitely.
Wasn't she in heels?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
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 Yep.
Yeah, she stood no chance. She was not getting away,
Yeah.
but they let her get away.
And he was a mask. I mean, he was a muscular guy. He could move fast. I'm sure.
Well, all I'm saying is she survived Jumanji.
She did survive Jumanji.
She did.
Oh shit, she did survive.
She's the
Yeah. But that was kind of the first little sniff to me of like, this movie has some homages to
yeah,
it.
they
Right,
wanted to
And
hit
I
the
didn't
Terminator,
really
and
understand.
there's also like all these people in any of these other films, they're caught, but they don't get
Yeah.
caught in those films. Like,
Right.
there's just
It's
plenty
all
of-
in the way that it's cut together, the way they pace it. It's like, oh God, they want you to make it just feel as close as it can be, and
Yeah.
as close as it can
Yeah,
get.
but
We'll draw
I
that
do
out.
think there's a point in time where your desire to have people press that edge makes it unrealistic to the point where it's distracting.
It does. It depends on how stylized you want the movie to be.
Sometimes the plot armor is just too thick.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the
and that
byproduct.
is a good. Yeah, that's a good point. That
which
is-
I think it's a thing I don't think any of us realized till watching this movie this time because we looked up the writer and realized he
Yeah.
did Scream. We're like, okay, this movie
It
is
all
playing
makes
into
sense.
this.
Yeah, so that was a
Right,
huge
right.
chunk of the puzzle for me.
Yeah, that was a
Like,
big aha moment. For
no
us.
matter how many times I watched this movie and I like this movie, I was always like, is this movie self-aware or is it
'Cause-
bad?
Yeah, because I was just seeing it as a fun movie. Like, this is a
Right,
fun movie to
so
watch,
I
but
could
didn't
never-
know why.
So it was one of those movies that could have a cleverness to it or it could just be bad.
Right.
The minute I found out that this was written by the dude that did Scream, I was like, oh,
Yep.
okay, it's
Yep.
self-aware.
Yeah, everything just fell right into
it's
place.
clever.
To me, it had a super meta like feel to it, and it's like you said, it's like that's either a product of something being so bad because all they have to, they're just,
Just hitting all
checking
the
the
numbers.
boxes
Yeah,
and whatever.
In a very poor
But
fashion.
like, yeah, but no, that was kind of that was what cinched it. It's like, oh, this is the guy who wrote Scream. Well, of course, he's,
Right.
this is going
Yeah.
to be a very meta story.
This
to
is
us.
what people
It's really-
are currently
yeah.
hiring him for. Is
Right.
This.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, hey, you did Scream? We want our Scream.
Yeah.
Write us a Scream. And then it's like, yes,
Totally.
I'll write
We
you
will.
a Scream.
All right,
he does it really well.
let's see if we can get out of this opening sequence.
So she gets out just in the nick of time, slams the lock back shut, and he's like at the door when
Calm as fuck.
calm as fuck. When the drama teacher picks up a piece of scissors, picks up a pair of scissors that the principal had grabbed. So she picks him up and just stabs the principal to death.
Just
Yep.
like, oh no.
But very calm, like not like in an outcry of rage or anger. She's just like very flat faced.
Yeah.
Right. You definitely,
It is like almost like robotic.
yeah, like you definitely
Yes.
tell, like, at this point, they're killing because it's necessary, not because it's any kind of rage or anything. It's
Right.
just, like,
This is not an
Right.
emotional thing that's happening, whatever it is.
purely calculated.
And that
thing.
takes us to our opening scene. So I actually really enjoyed this cold open. I think it sets it like you're still not sure what in the fuck just happened.
Right.
But you
No
know it's
idea.
like something's like it's beyond a teacher going crazy. Or two.
Yeah. Good.
Like the drama teacher changes her entire look between that scene and the next scene.
Yeah. That
Mm.
that would
A lot of them did big changes.
Yeah.
It was kind of like
So that
the
would
thing.
fit.
Anytime any of them were like
deficient
Yeah,
in an
yeah,
area.
Yeah, they overcome it and everything.
She's kind of a homage, her casting in and of itself. I didn't know this till I looked it up later on IMDb. That's Carrie's mom from the original Carrie.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, same actress.
How cool.
Boy, that lady got famous playing one of the ultimate cunts in horror movies.
Oh yeah. Well, and here's the thing. She actually had like a pretty good career before Carrie came out. She like got nominated for an Oscar, I think,
Oh, wow.
and then took a 10-year hiatus and then came back as Carrie's mom and I think got nominated for an Oscar again. Like she just took 10 years off, came back and got another Oscar.
Okay, I'm still awesome.
So yeah, there's
Just come
like
out of
two
retirement
halves.
to show these whippersnappers what's
Yeah.
up.
So she had like two distinct halves to her career, which was
Cool.
like I don't know how long it was or what she was in, but then it was like some horror movie shit after that.
So, Ursula, you think you take us through that 90s teen high school intro we get after this? Because we go through the whole music and everything, of course,
Yeah,
and then
you
we
got-
break it to the film.
Basically, every stereotype is slowly introduced over 90s music.
Yep.
You
That-
got Zeke rolling up in his muscle car. Fuck the rules.
Now, for people that
Fuck
don't
the
know
man.
90s music, give them 90s music. Give them examples real quick.
Yeah,
Offspring.
Offspring.
You ever heard Pearl Jam? That whole soundtrack just sounded like it could have been composed by Pearl Jam.
And what did I say during it? I was like, yeah, they're singing a bunch of vowels or something.
Yeah, Very few consonants in
Yeah.
the soundtrack.
So yeah, we got Zeke rolling up in his muscle car
I wonder if he's the badass.
with
He
the
was.
long sleeves that almost come out to his fingers
know.
underneath, a t-shirt.
And his
Low
weird
key-
haircut.
You know
That
what?
was a weird
And as a
haircut.
kid, I looked at that shirt. I always wanted to wear a shirt like that. I just never
Yeah.
did. I don't know what it was as a kid me. I just wanted a shirt
When I
like
looked
that.
at Zeke when I was a kid, I was like, "Oh, that guy's so fucking cool."
Yeah.
I want to be Josh Hartnett.
now I'm like, ugh.
Why does his hair go over his ears like that?
This is why we don't let high schoolers make decisions. This is
Right.
why.
And then we see Casey walking along, and he's like the nerd,
Little baby
Comes
Elijah
off the
Wood.
bus. It's our first
right?
clue.
Yeah, he gets
Uh-huh.
like beat up, and
Little itty bitty Elijah Wood.
Oh,
we see
man.
the jock and she's not like a cheerleader, but I mean she's like class president.
Oh,
The
What-
snob,
is she
the
a cheerleader?
preppy chick.
She's like the role of a cheerleader, like the hot cheerleader
Yeah.
as a girl.
the Valley Girl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we see the Valley Girl.
She's dating the quarterback.
Yeah, and then we see the goth.
Yup.
Stokely.
Stokely.
Essentially, it's the Breakfast Club we're getting introduced to.
yeah.
Like a horror
Breakfast Club, yeah.
horror movie version of the Breakfast Club.
Basically,
We-
that's how we're introduced to the
Yeah.
characters.
And we get the new
Yeah.
girl in town who's from, where does she say she's from? Out
Oh.
Georgia.
Georgia. Mary Bay.
Mary Beth.
Hutchison. Very bad.
Oh,
Mary
Beth
Beth
Hutchison.
Hutchison.
Yeah.
she blew my mind at the end. I won't say more. That was crazy though. I
Hey,
was like,
anyone's listening to this, they've watched that
okay,
film.
holy shit! They buried that lead, and it fucking got me when
She's new in town.
I
of
was like,
course.
son of a bitch! Of course, it was her.
Yeah, they flat out basically say it.
They do, and I
Right.
didn't catch it at all. It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
That's the thing. This whole film, there's no secret in the whole film. They're just like, here it is. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what you're watching. This is the answer. It's alien. They're being possessed by aliens.
You know what you're getting, and they still got me.
I think they probably got me too. I've watched this movie so many times. I don't really know.
Right.
I think it's a good movie. But I've watched it so much that it's like I could probably beat it. You know what I mean?
Right?
Beat
Yeah.
for beat it.
Because we saw her boobs.
boobs. Boobs are in this film.
Boobies.
I didn't know boobs were in this film.
Yay.
He always goes to the bathroom at that part.
Yeah, I took it. Well, I didn't have a camera to take a picture at the time. But pause and then you get those weird white
Loop.
lines from the pause, and you're like, go away, so I can
You gotta get that loop going on, man.
on a VCR.
Yeah.
I didn't use that was too much. I want to go a program to jerk off.
Fast forward, rewind. Fast forward, rewind.
Or you can pause it and do like the frame by frame by frame by frame by frame.
Oh, there you go until you get an image.
Oh
that's
yeah,
not
they did
so
have the
blurry.
frame by frame on some of those. That's perfect. Just don't move. So where
Clearly some experience.
Hey, listen, know your technology.
So what-
You can overcome.
So Ian, what happens after we meet this dynamic group of teenage kids?
Fantastic question for Eric to answer. No. Isn't this where we start to meet most of the teachers, or kind of re-meet
Yeah.
the teachers. Like
In
we
a
go
teacher
in,
lounge.
yeah, we go into the teachers' lounge. I don't remember a whole lot of the setup for that, but we meet young Jon Stewart.
Yep,
which
young
was-
Jon Stewart.
He's a science teacher.
When
Yeah.
did he start Daily Show? Was he on the Daily Show yet?
That was in the 2000s, so this
Yeah,
would have
that's
been after.
Okay, yeah,
Selma Hayek's the nurse.
Yep, Selma Hayek.
She's sick all the time.
The captain or the police chief from Super Troopers. is
Oh,
the,
yeah.
history teacher.
He's the drunk. Yeah, we find out that like he
Oh,
drinks
yeah.
during class.
Yep.
Yeah, he just opens up his hip flask and dumps it in his coffee cup. And, like all the other teachers are like, "Yep, that's the
And then-
usual."
and the
Yeah.
coach is over just drinking the hell out of water, just
Yep,
chugging
just
water
loving
out
that
of
water.
Yeah, those little, those doofy little, like those cone cups. Or
Yeah, right. The ones that you can't set down. God, I hate those fucking things.
Selma Hayek's sick, and then Jon Stewart talks about sticking a pin in his eye.
Oh yeah, foreshadowing.
No way.
Oh,
No way that happens.
Yep.
crazy.
And then
And
we
then-
get the drama teacher come in, don't we?
Yeah, the drama teacher, and she shares like a weird look with
Yeah.
the coach, and then like Stan is like, "Oh, I'm really fucking stupid, but I don't want everybody to know me from football." So he quits the football team, and the coach is just like, "Yeah, okay,
Who am I to stand in the way?
Hey, he
of
earned that
human
D.
condition?
yeah, yeah." Like,
Yeah, because we've just seen this terrible mean
such-
coach
yeah.
at the beginning, and now we're just like, yeah.
I know we're supposed to feel for him. You know, he doesn't want to be the jock stereotype. But later in the movie, there's a scene where he's like, he changed it to an A, and it was a D, but it was like, my D. I just want to study, and everybody. And it's like, dude, if you're getting C's and B's, yes, quit football, study, improve. If you're getting D's and somebody's like, let me change that to an A for you, you clearly are pretty fucking stupid to be like, no, it's my D. It stands for do good.
Be sports. Just
And
be
I
sports.
earned that D.
It was my
And
D.
You know what's funny is I think that's the film's opinion as well, because remember later he comes up with the big brain plan, and it is clearly a D plan.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
earned
does
that
the
D
plan, and as soon as we're all sitting there like, well, yeah, he said he earned that D. Yeah, he clearly did.
Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So I think the film's opinion of him is that Stan's an idiot,
Yeah.
a well-meaning and lovable idiot, but an idiot
He's an
nonetheless.
idiot. Yeah, he's a fucking idiot.
You know what? Not to cause too much forced crossover talk, but like, why wasn't Bruce Campbell in this film as some teacher?
Yeah, this feels like the
Good
kind of
question.
movie you would have been in.
Oh, who would you cast? Which teacher? The coach. The coach. He'd have been.
No, not maybe the coach.
He
but-
would have been the drunk teacher.
Yeah, he would have been that
Yeah,
drunk
listen,
teacher.
there's no way you're gonna that the guy that they got to be the coach was like the best one.
Yeah, Robert Patrick, I think. Is
Yeah, he's
he's the T1000 from T2.
yep,
is who we're
and
talking
he
about.
he crushed the campiness of this role,
Oh yeah.
for the exception of maybe having to run his happy ass all the way back to that table. That was it's still awkward no matter how you slice it.
Oh,
Okay, so now what happens after this weird faculty
So-
scene? He goes to quit the football team.
We're kind of going around and we're establishing everyone's like dynamic and setup. So there's this really timid teacher at some point, played by what was her name?
She was an X-Men.
She was an X-Men.
Jean
Funky
Grey?
Jansen.
Jean
Yeah,
Grey.
Jean Grey.
Jean Grey. Her and Bad Boy have this weird like sexual tension through the whole thing.
Which
so
is
they have their
awkward.
scene kind of like
super
And
uncomfortable.
we
Yeah.
kind of, this is like his scene to find out. It's like, okay, he's smart. He's just
Yeah.
an asshole.
he's very intelligent. Oh yeah, he does.
Because he's a fifth year
He
senior.
could be 18 because remember he's repeating his senior year.
yeah,
Yeah,
he is.
yeah.
repeat-
So he could even be 19.
He's a fifth
That's
year.
still inappropriate.
Yeah. doesn't help that much.
Which I always found,
a little bit.
which I always found weird. Like they let him play football for some reason at the end of all this, like being a repeat senior. Would you be disqualified?
Well, they
somehow?
changed his grades. We're going to get you through the senior year now, son. You just sign up for the football team, and we'll change your grade.
C's across the board, so nobody's suspicious.
right?
And he really, man,
Because they've
he
talked
really just gets uncomfortable with it too, because he like is very confrontational with her in a weird.
He
like-
knows that she's into
Yeah,
him.
that's the thing. Is he like just puts her in this. He like totally shuts her down in her own class. Like first time we see that, right?
He tries to sell her a condom.
that's later.
That was later. Yeah, but like
Oh,
right
right.
off
She
the
was-
bat, he
'cause-
puts her down in her own class, basically.
And she was just like-
she just
Oh,
stands
right.
She was
down.
just so rude.
It was
Well, then
Yeah,
she said,
that was
She was
later.
just so
Yeah.
like super timid, like So mean. Like,
And this is clearly to show a dynamic change later, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
yep.
So, and we also, who else would we find out? We found Elijah Wood and the football player's girlfriend. What's her name?
Oh.
Delilah. Yeah, Delilah is the editor of the school paper, and Elijah Woods like helps her get these stories and stuff. He's very much a lackey to her. He's like, yeah, whatever you
He's
want.
a simp.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's so much a simp though. I don't know if he's simpy.
Definitely simpy.
Because he
He
never
breaks into the teacher's lounge.
He's not simpy because he calls her a bitch.
he does call her a bitch.
We finally grew a sack. He broke into the teacher's lounge, like even though he didn't want to.
Right, but also like I get the impression that he works for her.
Yeah,
Like he's on the school paper and
Like
she's
he's like
because he had the camera and everything.
Like
Yeah,
maybe
so
it's
I think he's a school photographer.
I think he was a little
yeah, he
simpy.
was. That's what he was.
Maybe,
He
but
was
I
the
mean,
photographer
still-
for the paper. That's
I-
right.
It
I
just
agree.
seems like it's
I think
out of
he
his
was.
character, and he's only doing it because she's hot.
I mean, that
think
might be how he became the photographer.
I think he was a little simpy. I'm with her, so I think he was a
Okay.
little simpy.
but not major simp. We know worse
Not
simps.
major.
Yeah,
not like
I don't think
licking the
I don't
ground
think
after
he's
she
simpy.
walks
I
on
think
it.
he's subvert. I think simpy has to be just because she's hot. I don't think it's because she's hot. I think you see him pull this behavior to anybody that shows him even the slightest bit of authority.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
And she's
Because
very
he
authoritative.
he has the same kind of like pull my knees in like I have to pee, legs to the center of the body, look down to the side because I don't make eye contact. He does the same shit with the coach when the coach talks to him about like you're pretty
Football?
fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does the same kind of shit. So I think he's just a wuss.
wonder if we'll see that dynamic change through this film at all.
Huh, I wonder.
Possible.
I wonder if any and all these characters change at all throughout this film.
I don't know.
Zeke does not.
He does not just because he
joins the Yeah.
football team. His character goes through no actual like
Yeah, because he's
Yeah.
still smoking a cigarette out there on that field.
Yeah,
sure
and,
enough.
he's banging that teacher now.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If he's not, come on,
At
man.
the end of at the end of the movie when she's in the stands and
She probably friend zoned him. We don't know.
No.
that's how he's getting the A's now. That's how he's gonna get out of senior year.
Is that where we get to
She's
now?
gonna earn that D.
Is that where we get to now? They're kind of broken into the faculty lounge, sniffing
Yeah.
around for something.
Somewhere
Sure.
along the
Before that was the scene with Stan and
Oh yeah, that's right. The weird old the computer
Yeah.
teacher.
so Stan is in the showers
Oh yeah.
when the
Oh yeah, that did have to happen.
the
first.
old lady comes in and she's like falling apart. She's like disintegrating. He pulls off a chunk of her hair. Her skin's like peeling
I'm
off.
trying to remember what that was an homage to. It was an homage to something too. Everything in this film was.
Yeah,
but-
she says, I can't breathe. Casey runs in because he hears the screaming. Stan asks to go get help. And then the faculty, hint, passes it off as like she didn't take her meds and she's been having health problems.
She
Yeah,
had
She's
cancer.
got
so,
cancer.
yeah.
Yeah. So they kind of pass that and everybody believes it. Like they get
she was pretty old looking.
yeah, so they get away with that scot-free. It's not until Delilah like they're looking for a new story, right? They're looking for a new scandal for the paper. That's why they break into the office. Because Casey goes to the cabinet, points out the fact that the history teacher drinks, and Delilah says, "No, I covered that last year. Nobody cares."
Right. I'm trying to wonder how they. I mean,
So they
I'm trying to figure out like why they stuffed this old lady into this closet.
so my guess is so they had to call like squad and stuff, right, to make it
Right.
look like they called. My guess is they couldn't afford for the body to be found, so they stuffed it in there, called the squad, and then the students would never have to interact with the squad, so they could just say like, "Hey, we had a student that had an allergic reaction. It's gone away. We're sorry for the false alarm. Whatever."
Right. Well,
So-
I don't know. Just infect the emergency squad.
Well, it depends on if you have time. They do. Well, and actually they might have because by the time the students get like aware to everything, it's shown that the authority figures in town are pretty well taken over.
I bet they kept the body
Yeah,
to
because
study it.
there's a scene where she got one of the cops. Was
Yeah,
that right after
Yeah.
this?
So this was a little, yeah. So anyway, they go into they're looking for a new story inside the faculty lounge when the faculty comes in. And so they are forced to hide in the closet. They start talking about this teacher and about how her body was too old, and we don't know what they're talking about. But inside, like you said, Casey and Delilah find the body, which causes them to eject themselves out of the closet, fight off the faculty with a broom, and skedaddle the fuck on out of there.
Oh, we missed it. Back up. They killed.
Oh, that's where they take over Selma Hayek, the nurse.
Yeah, they're like
Oh,
stabbing,
yeah.
killing her and stuff. Like, 'cause
and
what,
actually, before that, we'll back up and we'll kind of cover the scene where he finds the slug because that actually happened before the break.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, we suck at this recap today.
Well,
boys.
I
That's
kind of threw
fine.
us off because it's all just introductory stuff.
Oh,
and then
right.
shit kicks off.
Basically,
we really want to get
yeah.
to the fun stuff. but
Basically, Elijah Wood finds
yeah.
a weird slug, like
On
a
the
dried
football
up
field.
slug on the football field, and the coach was like, "You look fast, play football." And he's like, "I have a weird take on running, where I think people should only run if they're being chased by something."
Oh yeah.
Hey, that's not weird.
Looks like you got the
But-
synopsis there, don't you?
Yeah,
I
and then
do
he
now, yeah.
and then
Go
he
ahead.
takes
You
it.
get to take us the rest of this film. Then we get to talk about it. Is what
Then
you
he
signed
takes-
up for.
He takes the slug to the science teacher, who's Jon Stewart, and they put it in a fish tank, and it comes back to life. And Jon Stewart's like, "I'm going to touch it," and then it bites him.
Brilliant idea.
Yeah, and then they're like, "We're going to send this to a
Touch
university."
aliens while you're high.
And that fish was an homage to what's his name? H.P. Lovecraft.
Ah, yes.
His
yes.
little
It's got
carnivorous
those
fish thing.
tendrils coming out and everything.
So what we got after the fish?
Okay, so after the fish is the break into the faculty lounge. The police get involved.
Oh yeah, please get involved because they killed the woman. Did they choke her or stab her? What they were doing to her?
They were puking in her ear.
They dropped him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they just dropped her in her. Yeah, that's right.
The parasites that look like pasta noodles. Those
Yeah,
big round pasta noodles.
pasta noodles.
I don't want those pasta noodles. And then they see all this
So-
happen from in the closet, and
they bolt. They get out of there.
they have to like shove
kinda
the
fight their
coach.
way
but
out.
Yeah, they have to fight their way out a little bit, and they run and get good cops.
Yeah,
And-
he tells his parents.
The principal's in the hallway.
Yes.
The one that died in the beginning of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, the principal was in the hallway, and it's
And
like,
we're
oh
like, oh.
shit,
It's like she
Yeah.
didn't die
what happened?
Then we find out that
because we
Elijah,
didn't see her again till this point.
yeah,
Right.
we find out Elijah Wood's dad is Shooter McGavin.
Shooter McGavin.
And he's
He's a bit of a cunt.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think
really
he always
didn't like
plays a
him.
cunt in movies, though, don't he?
He's
Kind
got
of,
kind of a
yeah.
cunt face.
I
No
can't
offense.
say.
sorry, Christopher McDonald.
So no, he actually plays. He plays.
Yeah,
he
so-
plays a good guy. He plays a pretty decent, like good guy in Grease too.
Wow, you had to dig for that
Grease
one,
too?
my guy. He was in Grease too.
He plays
God
one.
damn, you dug
plays
for
one of
that
the T-Birds, and he's not.
one.
He's not terrible.
Oh my! I forgot Grease 2 existed.
I didn't know Grease 2
I had to.
Oh my god!
Oh.
You need to watch
Michelle
it.
Pfeiffer, man, it's like one of her first. She would literally prefer people forget that ever
You
existed.
get all. Was it Grease? Yeah, it was Grease 2, where you get all the motorcycle wheelies you could dream of.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all you
So,
want.
you were just leaving, right? Just heading out.
I don't think I can because to drop that, I literally feel lightheaded.
I could tell you were struggling there. I was like,
He had a bunch of conflict in his mind. He's like, I have to admit that I know this film.
no.
I have to admit that I watched it. So
Oh,
just-
I know Michael's not going to edit this out.
Oh no, he doesn't have. I've seen it more than once.
I've watched it a bunch. I
Oh,
grew up with
why are
girls.
you
I couldn't
making
help
it
it.
Yeah,
worse?
like, but he does not play a bad guy or a
I
dickhead in that.
Probably unfairly, I've watched it more than first Grease. I can't. I don't know why.
Man, and you're giving me shit.
It's just I listen. I like things and I know I shouldn't like them. Just
No wonder you and Tyler are friends.
yeah. Oh, poor Tyler.
All right,
he
Eric.
He loves terrible movies.
Refocus
But so does
us.
Ursa.
All right.
We got
so
cops come.
Cops come.
Shooter McGavin, dad.
Yep.
Well, he takes his
and
porn.
who's the mom? And the mom is someone too,
Oh,
right?
shit.
I'll look that up while Eric
Okay.
keeps talking words.
So they kind of have this sit down with the faculty's like talking everyone through it, and they've got I can't exactly remember how they just talked their way out of it.
Someone
They
had
just
had an
kinda-
allergic reaction, and they were giving her medicine or something like
That
that.
was
and they were
it.
helping her, and they sent her
Well,
home.
no, when the cops
Yeah.
come, they didn't even mention her. It was just a CPR doll. Like, you called us for a fucking CPR
Oh,
doll?
yeah.
No, they mention her too, but she comes walking out and she's all fine. And then they go in to check for the body, and it's the CPR
Yeah,
doll.
because Shooter's like, I'd still like to see it in a closet.
Because there was a body in the closet with them. That's why they went running out. The body
Yeah.
fell on them. And,
Yeah, so they go check the closet,
took
and
her
it's just a CPR doll, and the cop's like all pissed about it.
Yeah, but then the cops got infected there when they pulled him into the office to speak with them alone.
Because the
Elijah
cops want
alone.
to go call somebody. They're going to call for the old lady, weren't they? They're saying the old lady is still fine at this point.
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah, so like we go call her if you want, officer. Like, yeah, I think we'll go do that.
Yeah.
And Elijah Wood is in, Frodo's in there watching into the office, and he's like, you see some commotion happen. I think he gets like pushed up against the window or something a little bit. because she's obviously infecting him with the noodle bug.
Yeah. Noodle bug.
Is that what we're calling it now? The noodle bug?
The noodle bug.
I thought noodles. I didn't know what to call it.
Noodle
Noodle fish. Nope. No, we move on from that quickly. What happened next? And then the principal comes back out.
Yep.
And they're like, Miss, I'd like to talk to you about getting your son to therapy, Mrs. Frodo. Wants to come into the office with me. And he's like, and Frodo's like, no, Mom, I think I'm okay to go home. I think, I might we can go talk to a shrink. It's fine.
Yeah. Whatever you want. I'll say whatever to get out of here right now. Let's go.
Right.
You've got to appreciate the fact that you're like, okay, so you have a kid. He never causes problems. He never says anything crazy. Never does anything. He has one incident that you think is wrong, and you need to send him to therapy. That is the most accurate description of a 90s parent I have ever seen in my life.
I don't know if I'd want to send him to therapy, but I would definitely check his sock drawer for drugs.
Well, that's fine. But like, that was like her immediate. She's like, we need to go talk to somebody. I'm like, or just like.
Well, he is a bit weird too. So, I mean.
But he's always been weird.
Well, yeah. I mean, maybe this is just, maybe just.
Listen, there's a difference between needing to go to a psych and just being a little tismy, okay?
I mean, I guess this was before school shootings were a prevalent thing, right?
Oh,
come on.
I mean, you got the weird kid that's always bullied. Now he's doing an outburst thing. I'd be like, yeah, well, maybe, maybe we should go talk to somebody.
But what kind of okay, but what kind of a school shooting outburst also includes like the head cheerleader?
You got me. Maybe you got me there. Oh, no, because he's like, call Delilah.
That's right. She didn't back him up.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, and he does have the stalker photos of her in his bedroom.
Right, yeah.
Oh, fuck, he is simpy.
That's right,
God
too.
damn it. Yeah. I try to defend you, Elijah Wood.
No, I still don't think he's simpy.
He's stalkery now, though.
So
maybe that's why he got that job, though. Maybe that's why he got that job.
Okay, now you're just making assumptions. You don't fucking know.
Hey! I'm basing on what is it you said earlier? I'm basing off the information I had. Okay, he's got those pictures on the walls. You know what I mean? He acts kind of simpy. He's breaking into the teacher's lounge, even though that's something he wouldn't. He was very against
maybe
it.
He does need his shrink. He might be a serial killer, and she's about to be the first victim.
Okay, but nevertheless, we see him react exactly the same to the pressures of a male figure that he does to the hot female.
That doesn't mean he's not a simp, though.
I think for it to be a simp, it has to be in this one direction. I think it's an overall arching part of his personality.
He could be a bi simp.
Oh, yeah, it's a little early.
Okay, where's your evidence to support that? If we're going off of what's on screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now we need evidence.
Well, I'm assuming that's the next thing you were gonna do.
Hey, do your own research, bud. All right.
All right. You give me one goddamn evidence that he's interested in men. One.
So the next
I'm
day,
just saying, Mike sucks stands dead.
He tried to sneak out.
Well, first, after they berate his fucking room and just tearing apart government property.
Oh, this is adorable. Eric's starting to realize what it's like to try and fight your way through these plot recaps.
So they go home.
Minus a mic.
There's a reason I do not volunteer.
Shooter McGavin's tearing apart Frodo's room looking for drugs.
Yep. He steals his porn.
And his mom takes it to get his porn.
Dude, what a bitch move from her.
Mom, why are you looking at my porn?
Oh,
Did we get the mom's name? Did we figure out who she was?
She's not in anything I recognize.
What kind of punk ass move was that?
What? It's like
for her to be like, oh, it's porno.
Yeah.
Why does the mom know where the porn is?
Because she cleans his room.
He wouldn't.
Oh yeah, probably. He seems like that type. Mom, will you get me some peanut butter and jelly?
and Dad.
Actually, she could just be fucking nosy as shit. She hasn't been to that
She
too.
seems like that kind of type too. But I mean, why are you looking? Don't look underneath. Don't look underneath a teenager's bed.
She's looking for his porn. She's looking for it.
Wait, just to make sure.
Yeah.
She's already worried about it, and that's why she wants to see it. Make him go get there.
And you know what? Why didn't he look there first for drugs? That's a logical place to look for drugs under the mattress like that. So it's amazing he didn't find it first.
Well, he just didn't think to look between the mattresses.
I hid my drugs in a shoebox under my bed.
I didn't hide drugs.
That was inconspicuous. Never think to look there.
First time I got high was with my mom.
so he didn't need to hide.
I was going to say, well, that changes the context of that.
Yeah.
So
Definitely different.
after the Shooter McGavin tears apart Frodo's room, steals his porn because the mom's a bitch. He also says no internet, takes the internet out of the room.
And the phone.
And the phone.
He tears his school books in half. He's like, I don't own those.
That's government property, Dad.
He was like about to cry the whole time.
Well,
of course, Frodo always
this
has
is the
that
first.
look. I don't know.
This is the first time that Casey has ever gotten in trouble in his life.
Man, it really was,
It
wasn't
probably is. Yeah.
It probably, yeah. So of course he's crying.
Eric's trying so hard.
So
Well,
then
come on, say
Frodo tried to
something.
sneak out.
So he, after
God.
Shooter McGavin leaves the room, says, clean up this mess. And then Elijah Wood's immediately like, okay, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I don't know what he does on the computers. To this day, I still don't know what he did on that computer.
He
Just
started
something's
that
printing
little
out.
robot thing.
What is that though?
I don't know.
To this day, I still don't know what happened. Right before
you know
he
what?
left.
I almost think he was typing out like a note because I think it was going to print out. I think it was letting his parents know where he was going.
Peace,
Oh my
bitches, I'm gonna go
gosh.
see my simp
Sneaking
girl.
out.
I don't.
And then
I don't
it's
think
like,
that was it. I'm not spending this whole time defending Casey. Goddamn.
So he goes out the window. He's got halfway out. He's about to jump, get out the window. He looks over and sees the 4 teachers standing over there. He's like, oh fuck.
And he
then
falls.
all the way down and survives that fall somehow. With
What do you
nothing
mean?
hurt.
What do you mean survives? It's like a 5-foot fall.
Whatever. It's more than that. They're in a
Honestly,
upper middle class
honestly,
neighborhood.
It doesn't take much of a fall to kill you.
It doesn't, but he's pretty. He's fine. Kids fall out of trees all the time.
This was on top of a second-story house.
It's not that. It's
Well,
not
the
any
whole
taller than a tree you have in your house.
the whole sequence was weird. This had to have been another homage because, like, after he falls, they all the faculty members loom over him and then like just vanish in an instant.
Well,
And
his dad comes out. He stands up to run, and his dad comes out like, "What are you doing out here?"
and then they're gone.
And
when
Dad
he
still
turns
has the
around.
porn
So
for some
I
reason.
That's still.
No, we all. It's that guy. We all know exactly why he's got it. Have you met it? We've met his wife. He's putting that shit to good use.
Probably, yes.
Like, let's see if my son's got good taste at least. Let's look at this.
The family that. Never mind. Anyway, so
I hope not. I hope not, man.
So I actually think too. I think they were standing there, but I think he imagined them like getting. I think
like
that was.
looming over
I think
him,
once
yeah.
he fell and his back was to them, he couldn't see. He was like imagining
he
that
had
they
bumped
were,
his head
they
or
were-
something.
No, I think it was like his
Just
kind of like
the
his
fear playing
imagination.
out,
Yeah, getting closer. To
Oh
what they
yeah, like when I got chased by that dog, and it looked bigger while it was chasing me than it did when I got a good look at
were.
it.
Right, like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And
So
it was a Shih Tzu.
So he tells his son to get back in the house.
It was not a Shih Tzu.
And
It
then
was
we
not.
cut to the next day at school. Shooter McGavin's dropping off Frodo.
And
And you know what? At least his dad's clearly a dick, but at least in this one part, he actually looks like he feels bad for forcing him to go
Right.
because he won't look at him. He's
Yeah,
just
he's
like, no.
I thought it was more that he was disappointed.
See,
that
I
he
felt
has
like
him
he
for a
actually
son.
kind of was like, yeah, like because his son's like begging him. He's like, just go. I felt like he didn't want
yeah.
to.
Maybe.
But maybe I'm attributing. Maybe I'm
Then the
giving
coach-
him a more generous reading.
perhaps, I mean,
Shooter McGavin's not that nice.
I think
He
that,
was in Greece too.
I think he was just. I think he was like disappointed and like this is his son.
yeah. Oh, disappointment, huh? A fatherly disappointment is the worst kind
Yeah,
of
I
disappointment.
mean, like earlier when the coach was like, "Have some pretty good running, Casey. You ought to try out for the football team." He's like, "I hear that, son. That's the football team."
I see. Yeah.
Okay, we're about an hour into this. We're not halfway through the film.
Sounds like
Are
we're
you
doing
serious?
a part 2.
Nope. Get us through it. Go ahead and jump us
All
some
right,
of the plot here,
Sure,
Eric.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my mic.
Okay.
Go ahead, get us through some plot.
Next comes the part of the movie where they all start piecing it together and all the players start coming in. The Breakfast Club kind of starts getting together, right? And that's broad strokes. I want to get us to like one of what I thought was my favorite scenes was around the fish bowl, the fish tank while they're all
Okay,
talking.
jump us to
So
there
it's
because it
kinda-
is a lot of yada yada to get to that point.
It kind of is, isn't it? Where
Yeah.
they're, dodging
Things
around.
are happening. What's
suspicious
happening?
Stuff.
Blah, blah, blah. Now we're
Faculty
here.
members are now acting different. And I think the biggest thing that happens before.
Yeah, they started calling in the important kids from each of the clubs.
That's right.
And that's what gets all
Yeah.
of them together because they're all like, "Fuck this, we're not going."
Yeah, we're not going when they get called in and stuff. So that
Yeah.
So that's kind of what's going on in the backdrop as he's kind of helping them all figure it out. I think the other important point of note is the drug.
Scat.
Oh yeah, we forgot. Yeah,
And-
so Zeke sells fucking
He calls it scat.
scat in a pen. It's powder in a pen. He says it's fucking caffeine pills and other household chemicals. So it's just,
And we're like, okay, so the caffeine pills we get, but expound on that household
Right,
chemicals
right.
part.
okay,
Right.
so it's Stacker and Clorox. That's all you had to say.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, they show up and Casey's like, hey, it's aliens, and everybody's like, that's a pretty fucking stupid thing to say. And then
Right.
Jon Stewart comes in and he's like, let me act super weird for a second and then start attacking you.
So
And they find out he's an alien when they chop off his fingers with the paper slicer and his finger crawls away.
yes,
And then they kill him by foreshadowing putting a pen in his eye. And the pen is filled with scat, not poop, the white powder scat.
but it was like right before. How did the tank shatter? Do you remember? How
He
did
throws Zeke into him.
Oh,
He
yeah.
throws. Yeah,
Yeah, during the fight.
Yes.
We can blow right
during the
past.
fight. But what I liked was, because this was such another big meta moment, I was like, I'll bet this is where their world turns upside down, everything shatters, and it does. Because from then on out, they're on the run. Like then we just start seeing that like
The whole
it's
town's, like,
everywhere.
going
yeah,
down.
like it's all over the place from there. After
Right.
they kind of fight
They-
their way out of the
They kill Jon Stewart and they're like, isn't
Yeah.
this the part where somebody says, let's get the fuck out of here? Someone says, let's get the fuck out of here.
Right.
And the entire school has gone like calm.
real calm.
Yeah, everybody's personalities changed, as indicated by the couple that was fighting. And
All the time.
One of them was mean, and then they loved each other.
Yeah, because the only time you don't have someone that's calm was when the teacher that Zeke was fucking with earlier comes out all super aggressive when he's selling that scat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she wants him to quit selling that shit.
Yeah, and that's the only aggression we get. And if you're watching the film and process and not realizing what's going on, it's she's only one being aggressive because like that drug kills them. So it's like
Right,
this
right.
needs to not be existing. So that's why she's super pissy at that point.
Yeah.
Right, but you can't afford to
Yeah.
full out attack him because a lot of the students are turned at that point.
Right.
Right.
And that was something that had confused me at that point because I didn't understand. But that then as the drug thing kind of came out and we
Right.
realized what it could do.
Yeah, because
So
the next place they go is back to
Zeke's house.
Zeke's house. And
we see
he does
the
an,
lab.
yeah, he does an experiment with his rat where he's
Oscar.
like, check it out. The aliens take over your body like body snatchers. And then that's when they realize like the thing that killed Jon Stewart was that the bullshit got dried out. The bullshit dried them out because they need water because everybody's been drinking water.
Yep.
So then we have an extended homage to The Thing where instead of doing the blood test, they are snorting fucking drugs to see who's the alien. They're like, well, it'll kill you if you're an alien, or it'll kill the alien.
This is by far the best scene in the movie.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
hilarious,
It's
really.
like the same kind of tension as the blood test from The Thing, but it gets really fucking funny because I think the first person who snorts it is Elijah Wood.
I think so.
And then he starts like cracking up and
and they-
laughing his ass
he
off,
even
which is
asks,
super
he's
out of
like, why
character.
Tweaking, man. Let him tweak.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, why do I have to be first? He's like, it's your fucking birthright. Take it.
Yeah, right.
Basically saying you're the bitch of the group, so you're going first.
Right. And
I
then,
wonder if it's more like because he ends up being the hero, kind of. It's his birthright. He's the hero.
yeah, he does end up being the hero.
Mhm.
So yeah, through the power of plot contrivance, Delilah and fucking Mary Beth or whatever have to snort it at the same time. Showdown. Yeah, that was really funny. I love how out of character that was for him because they're all tripping balls and like laughing their asses off. And then Mary Beth is like, I can't. I'm allergic to aspirin or whatever. And then, but they're like, well, fuck you.
You
still
fucking have to,
snort it.
bitch.
Yeah. So then
then-
Delilah snorts it, but she's a fucking alien, so she starts wigging out and she
Yeah.
busts through. Well, she breaks his lab stuff so he can't make more, and then she
Just
busts
destroys
out
it
of the
all.
wall like the thing. She just takes off running.
Oh, yeah.
I think after that they
The
go to the
bang
school.
scene.
Yeah, because the football game's going on, and we get a montage of the football players infecting the other football players on the field.
Yeah, then we get the huge fucking light show at the fucking football
Yeah,
game.
the fireworks where the school's
Yeah.
quarterly budget.
Yeah, because they decided they kind of worked out that if you kill the queen, well, they just
Yeah,
kind of
Base
hope.
their entire strategy off the body snatch.
Right, yeah. Boy,
Yeah.
they're lucky they were
They're
right.
hoping.
So, and like the football game, it's like you just know now everyone's fucking
Right,
getting
like it's gonna be the
infected.
whole
like
fucking
this is
town
bad.
now, yeah.
Which luckily for them, they don't just have a sense of like who's not one. It seems like because like they didn't like pin them out right away. They're just kind of like, they don't know until they know, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
They get the rest of their drugs from Zeke's car. Did they go to his
No,
car
we're not there
somewhere?
yet.
No, we're
So-
not there yet. Did I skip ahead?
So
Okay.
they're speculating who the queen is to kill them, and they think it's the principal. Like she
yeah.
was the first one because they didn't know the coach was the first one that we seen as the audience.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's the principal, she's the lead in charge, so it has to be her. So we gotta wait till we get her alone.
Solid logic.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
it's more than I could probably came up with in the moment. I would never guess the new person in town.
Seriously. Damn it.
I would have just left.
Yeah, but how do you outrun that sort of thing?
I know it
Fucking
spreads so
in the
fucking
woods, man.
fast.
Doomsday.
Yeah,
I don't
the
give a shit
woods.
about you. I want to live out the rest of my days eating salmon.
Why salmon?
Just like growing my hair out, living like a Tom Hanks castaway. Wilson!
Actually, I would at least have a Wilma. That
You know
way you
what-
can use that ball.
Would anything even be safe? Because we've seen that it could take over a mouse. Why wouldn't they taking over animals too?
Plot.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It would spread so much faster.
All right. Yeah.
Maybe it
Bunch
was.
of birds just swooping down and barfing slugs.
and you're toast.
Right.
Yeah, seriously.
So
They're all hiding
Yeah.
out in the gymnasium.
yeah, they're at the school, and then we get a bunch of character moments where they bond, and there's some fucking arcs and backstory and stuff. We find out Stokely's not a lesbian at some point. It might be during this scene, but I don't really give a shit. And then we get more plot stuff. More shit happens after nothing happens.
Well, I think that's a subtle thing people really don't think about because Mary Beth and the goth girl are in the gymnasium just by themselves talking. And Mary Beth is asking us, like, how did, because she reads those stories and everything. She's like, how does everything end for us and all this? She's like, usually we win, we lose in the ones that I read and everything. But you got to think what she's referring to is because she's infected at this point. Now, we find out later, she's talking like as an alien perspective.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Who?
The goth girl and Mary Beth.
She's not infected.
Oh,
yet.
yeah. No, she's not infected.
She's
She
not
attacks
infected yet.
the lady.
You don't
She-
think?
No.
She's not. I don't
That
think she was.
I think
happens
because
in
she
the
gets
pool.
infected.
I don't
happens
think.
in the
Yeah,
pool.
I don't think. I think she was infected in the pool.
She didn't have a chance to get infected at pool, did she?
The goddamn thing swim. Don't you remember? That's why they showed it in the water.
Yeah, it dragged her underwater and stuff. I think that's when she got infected. Because
Yeah, I think so because she attacks her in the gym when they're like alone.
Yeah, but
And then
they
they come
don't
back
because
like
she's
that.
pretending to still be helping out Elijah and
But why do that? But why do that when he's not there?
do what?
Attack her.
Attack her. She attacks her when they're alone.
Yeah, and then he comes in.
They
When
don't
they're-
come back till they hear the.
I'll have to watch it back because I always seen that because I'd never seen a part where she been because
That
there's
is good.
nothing that happens if she gets infected otherwise. And I always took that as a part like she's saying that the aliens always lose in those stories.
But they don't. In those stories, they always
Eh,
win.
All right.
In the body
Maybe
snatch,
I'm wrong. Fuck
in the
me.
in the in the body snatchers and the pod people, we all lose.
Oh, dude.
But the
Yeah.
principal comes in while they're still all in the gym.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Before that.
and they loop her up in the volleyball net and tie her down, and they
Shoot her in the face.
No.
Yep.
Well, it was funnier. He comes like Elijah Wood's like sniff this. Just like,
as if she would acquiesce as a normal person.
she's just like no, and they're like, oh fuck, what do we
They
do now?
were all like, well, damn, we didn't see this coming. I was
I
like,
didn't think she'd say
plug
no.
her nose and pour it down her mouth. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it seems like if it just kills you by being stabbed in your eye or whatever, it seems like you wouldn't really have to snort it.
right, yeah, just kind of wait till they're talking and then just.
Right in your face.
But yeah, so
It
Or
was just
stab
so
her in the thigh or whatever.
It was just so weird they didn't have the backup plan there. Just like,
right,
oh,
right.
Because
Right,
they
but
put the gun to
they
her.
got
He's
really
saying sniff
lucky.
this. And
Right,
she's just
but
like,
they-
no. Like,
but they
oh.
are also just high schoolers.
Right. So
like,
yeah.
are we really going to shoot the
Fuck,
teacher?
what are we gonna do now?
Right. Oh,
And they shoot her.
They're
and
at
then
the
Zeke comes and grabs her
yeah.
and he's like, just done. No.
They're at the school because aren't they mixing some shit to kill the queen with? Isn't that what they were doing?
No, they took
Oh,
they took-
they had just a bunch of that stuff in a
Oh,
big tube.
Right.
And Mary
yeah.
Beth comes and dumps the whole fucking thing on her when she comes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That damn it.
That's why she
yeah, that's
dumped
why
it.
she
Yeah,
wastes all that shit on the principal.
Shit.
Yeah. So at
This guy
some
is
point,
clever as fuck. Man.
so at
Plot
some point-
consistency. Who knew?
Good.
Yeah, if
He's
you look
so
back
good.
at it after you know,
I need to
even though
rewatch
it's,
it now.
It's so obvious, but you're never like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, at some point, Stan runs outside He's like, I'm gonna go look at the football team, and then he runs outside.
Yeah, in which case we were all like, yeah, this all tracks. This makes sense.
So coach and all the football players are standing out in the rain being creepy aliens, and he just runs up and it's like, ugh! And then he comes back to the door
infected,
and he's like, let me in. And they're like, you could have been infected because you just fucking ran up to them for some reason. We don't really know why you did that. They don't say that.
And he's like,
I
here,
don't know why he
sniff
did
this
that.
last tube we have, please.
Yeah, they're like, snort this drug before we let you in, and he dumps it out, and he's just like, I'm an alien.
It's like,
you
it's
could
better.
be an alien too. It's so good. And then they're like, well, fuck. So Stan's fucking out. So then they have to get more of it out of Zeke's car.
And Casey,
fucking Mary Beth fucked it. So then we get one of my favorite scenes of the movie where Casey is trying to distract the
running away from the
team.
football team.
Yeah, long enough for Zeke to get to his car. So we get a little bit of an action scene where the football players are chasing Zeke, and then fucking Jean Grey gets him pinned on the bus and he escapes, and then Zeke fucking crashes his car and decapitates her, and we get another Thing homage with her weird creepy head crawling away. We realize that the aliens could just heal you.
I think that was Invaders from Mars or something, actually. Or
Ben said it reminded him of Mars Attacks.
The head lobbing made me remind me of Mars Attacks, but I'm pretty sure it was another homage to the Thing.
Well,
yeah, because in the Thing, there's like the head spider,
Yeah.
creepy thing. Regardless,
film's full of homages.
Right,
Moving
yeah.
on.
It is a film of homages.
Yes.
Yeah. So then we go back inside, and it's like Mary Beth is the fucking queen. I don't remember how we figure that out.
She just starts smacking people with her tentacle
Yeah,
arms.
she just becomes a giant
she's just
monster.
she's just like, well, fuck it.
Once she's like, you guys are out of the stuff, and they're like, yeah. She's like, ooh, hot damn.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like, first of all, this species would not survive evolution. The whole idea that like your whole crux of your entire species revolves around the queen. It's not like bees, you know. If the bee queen dies, you know, maybe
They make
another
another one.
Yeah.
You know? But this is like you die, and then everybody just like, oh well, fuck. I guess
Yeah.
we're dead.
It's the robots from Phantom Menace.
It's
It's the
fucking-
fucking
it's terrible.
aliens from Avengers.
Terrible evolution.
Yeah.
What is it?
Leviathan from Supernatural.
Leviathan.
Wow.
Or isn't that
We
kind of
don't
like
talk about that.
Isn't that kind of like the thing of like
Yeah.
the werewolves too? If you kill the
Kill the alpha.
No, that's if you kill the one that bit
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
close.
you. So for
Yeah.
the sake of brevity, I'm not touching this one because
yeah,
we're gonna get into a Quiet Place Part 2 thing all over. again.
I'm just gonna blow us through the rest of the movie. So
And-
anyway,
I
Blow us,
disagree.
Ian,
I
blow us.
disagree.
so
We'll just say that I disagree.
anyway, so Casey and fucking Clea Duvall are getting chased. Stokely are getting chased by alien Mary Beth, and then she turns into a giant monster, drags Stokely into the pool, and then that's probably when she got infected. Unless you're
What's
Michael.
inaccurate about what he's saying?
Just how he's blown through, it's adorable.
I
Keep
know.
going.
Well, we gotta get it.
This
we
is
gotta
really
get through
longer
it.
than the
We
movie.
spent way too much time. Yeah.
Listen, that
So-
is fine. There is nothing wrong with critiquing something than longer than the media is. It takes more time to dissect the ideas of a thing than the thing itself.
So anyway,
what do we got?
we go into the locker room and we see Mary Beth's titties, and she has this whole monologue where she's like, "What if you were an alien?" They're like, "Fuck." And then we find out Stokely's infected, and then Zeke shows up and he's like, "I'm still here." And then he gets knocked out, and then the giant monster chases Casey into the gym. He runs behind the bleachers and he pushes the button for all the bleachers to
What
start
did we
folding
decide that this
behind
was an
him.
homage to? The bleachers.
Which the bleachers? Oh, closing in Terminator.
Terminator.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
original Terminator.
Yeah. So Casey's running from this giant alien, which when it's practical looks really fucking good.
They
Uh,
did very well with the
Yeah,
with
I do
what-
like the creature design when it's not CGI. But then Casey gets to the end, and then the monster gets caught in the thing, and then he has 3 of those pens, and then he says the thing that Zeke said earlier, and he
guaranteed to jack you up.
guaranteed to jack you up. He stabs it into the creature's eyes, and then it shoots a bunch of slugs into his face, which I remember that always grossed me the fuck out as a kid.
That was
that's
pretty.
gross.
That was pretty
Yeah,
horrible.
I
It looked
hated that.
painful.
You're right. Yeah, it looks super painful. But anyway, the queen dies, and then everybody's saved, and then everybody gets laid. Zeke is banging the teacher, and then Elijah Wood is banging
Stokely washed her
Stokely.
hair.
Or no, Elijah Wood is banging Delilah, and then Stan is banging Stokely because he's like, I got a D. And then that's how the movie ends.
She's like, I'll show you a D.
And now we're gonna go get into our ratings.
Yeah.
Wait. Hold on.
Oh,
When she's walking through the locker room doing the montage thing, she has a fucking shadow still of the goddamn tentacle monster.
Oh yeah, the tentacles are like in shadow all around her, even though she's just like a naked blonde chick.
Ursa's like, I'm not letting this go. Back it up.
Yeah, you can't just let that go. That's fucking stupid.
Anyone else got any quick moments?
So that one I agree with. There's absolutely no goddamn way you'd be able to hide.
Eric,
with
you
that.
got any quick moments real quick?
I liked the naked chick walking with the.
Listen,
the-
that's
I
not.
like
what- that's not
movies.
When this movie came out, I liked that scene too.
I like boobies.
just
I was 13.
to clarify, I mean, I thought the shadows looked cool.
so it looked good, but it doesn't make sense.
Okay, it probably doesn't make sense.
All right.
right.
Now we get into our ratings.
Yeah.
Woo!
We did it.
I'm Mary Beth Louise Hutchinson of Atlanta. I'm new here.
No shit.
Ian, you look very pretty tonight.
Boy, I fucking hate that. I don't know why you just did that. Edit that out, Michael.
As he softly caresses
Do
you on
whatever
your
you like.
cheek,
All right.
Whatever you like. Hey, press your ear against mine.
so you can hear.
Okay. Why am I doing this? This will not work.
Are you like
That
trying?
will not work.
All right. So anyway.
mine, full disclosure to everyone again, we try not to make these podcasts too god awful fucking long. So
We try.
that's why we try to.
Allegedly.
Listen, I don't think there's anything wrong with a long podcast.
All right, Ben.
What?
What's your rating?
I'm gonna have to give this probably 4 out of 5 illicit drugs.
Ooh, tasty.
So just like of this guy, like Scream is a 5, right? Like I think Scream is I think Scream is an awesome is a almost perfect example of what it was trying to be, and I think this is subpar to Scream, but still great, vastly enjoyable and well done. Great cast, all around enjoyable film.
Great.
Very good. Ursa, what do you got?
I'm gonna give it also 4 out of 5 naked tentacle monsters.
Naked tentacle mon.
Oh yeah.
Just because it's almost it's almost a perfect movie for what it is.
Right. Yeah.
Like you get upset at it, or you're like, oh my god, this is so goddamn cheesy, right up until you're like, oh, okay, that's the point.
There was a couple design decisions I wouldn't have made, but
Sure.
besides,
Tentacle shadow.
it's still a really good movie.
Yes.
Ian, what do you think?
Oh man. Okay. I'm going to give this 5 naked elderly assaults in the shower. Or excuse me, 4. Sorry. I know. I fucked up. 4 naked elderly people assaulting you in the shower out of 5. No, I agree. It's like it's not quite like Scream. It's the same. It's going for the same kind of like it's a spoof and an homage and a new entry to the genre all at the same time. It's not quite as good as Scream. Doesn't quite pull everything off as well, but it's still really fucking good. Like, this is one of those movies that it's like, turn your brain off and watch it because it's just a good, like, I hate to use the phrase popcorn movie because I hate that.
Oh, it's
fucking
definitely a
phrase,
popcorn.
but it's a popcorn movie. Just shut off your brain and watch fucking Elijah Wood fight aliens. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
I agree. I'm gonna give this thing. I like it more than you guys. I think it's definitely 5 crawly fingers out of 5.
John Stewart fingies.
John Stewart fingies come to get ya. I don't think I like that. All of a sudden, I don't know which is worse, the naked lady assault, or I don't know. But I could definitely I don't need to be in a mood to watch this movie. I could put this movie on pretty much at any time, and I'm going. And the thing is, like, because even this many years later, I was able to watch it, and then just finding out who the writer was made so many different more things click into place, and I just got so many more different things out of watching the film.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
So because we already heard, I'm sure Eric will talk about it some. Like, he's gonna have to go back and watch this film now from just everything he's learned about it and everything he's realized.
Oh yeah,
it's just gonna be a huge deal. So this is definitely 5 out of 5 crawly fingies. John Stewart crawly fingies for me.
Nice. What about you, Eric?
You're right. I am going to talk a little bit about that too, because that to me is kind of what I'll start with the rating. I'm going to give this 5 out of 5 pens to the eye.
Nice.
And it's because
John Stewart making
everything that I'm hearing, everything I'm hearing here is kind of what I'm thinking from the, like, you can just shut off your brain and enjoy this movie and watch it beginning to end, and it's just mindless entertainment. But you can watch it over and over again, and you can kind of keep digging into this movie and finding more and more stuff, all these homages, and just like the hints, the setup is really well. Like, this what's the writer's name again?
Kevin Williams.
Kevin Williams I think he's kind of a genius when it comes to storytelling.
Yeah, we was talking about that with
That's
Tyler. He
just-
said he was really big during that time, then just for some reason just went to shit somehow.
Is that right?
Yeah, he
Well,
just didn't right. I mean, it was just his era. I think.
I
You like
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Like Shyamalan?
I think it's a combination of style meets era.
yeah,
I think
and
he's-
that makes sense.
Yeah, he started focusing more
But-
on like teen dramas and less on horror movies, I think.
Okay, but in this, it's spot on. It has so much rewatch value. I basically watched this movie for the first time and just loved it. And going through, you kind of pick up on little hints and stuff. And I'll bet you there's all sorts of shit in the background that we didn't even notice. That it would just take watching countless times or watching in slow motion even to catch. Like, oh, look at that poster there. I'll bet that's this. You know, it just
I
seems
loved
like that
I
kind of
loved
movie.
during when we was watching the realization of who the queen alien was.
Oh, that blew my fucking mind. And that's why it's got to be a 5 out of 5 for me. Because, like, it was the fucking new girl in town, and she just seems so sweet and innocent. And then, like, it's her at the end. I lost my mind. We weren't recording that, were we?
No,
But
we
it
wasn't.
blew my fucking mind.
So he started doing Dawson's Creek like right after this.
Do. You know, I actually really like Dawson's Creek.
I never got into that. I like Grease. I
watched
got
it-
Grease
watched it-
too.
Yeah. Oh,
Grease
Ben-
2, I'm on board with.
No,
but
Ben.
Dawson's Creek,
No, man.
No,
You saw Grease
oh,
2. You don't get to get mad
fuck
at Eric
off.
for Dawson's Creek.
Fuck off. No. I'll defend myself on this one. At least Grease 2 is like a movie you watch it. So Dawson's Creek, you have to watch an episode, be like, I like that. Watch another episode. I like that. Watch another episode. I like that. That's a continual investment.
You're not incorrect. But you said you've seen it more than once.
I have because I was in a relationship with somebody who enjoyed that movie.
All right, fine. I accept.
I did not willingly absorb this movie multiple times.
that was good head.
All right. Well,
What am I saying? I watched it without getting head. What am I talking about?
all right.
All right, let's
There you
get on
have
out of here. We appreciate y'all listening to us on Cultober for the faculty.
Yay!
If you haven't already, follow us on Instagram, Twitter. Where else are we?
Reddit.
Facebook,
We're on the
Reddit.
internet.
I finally got a Reddit person.
Oh, Ian got a Reddit person.
They haven't talked to me yet, but they're fucking there. There's
That
two of
doesn't
us.
count if
Yeah,
they're
the
not
Redditor,
talking.
huh?
No,
You
they're
have
in
to
there.
talk to
No. When you go to r/culttalknet, there's 2 members. Get fucked. I got a friend.
Maybe that was
Ask
just
him
one
a
of us.
question.
Was it you or something?
No,
Oh, it was
not
us.
yet.
No.
But you're,
That would've
you're
been-
about to have 3.
Yay!
Spark a conversation.
So follow us on all the things at Cult Talk Net.
Ask them what their favorite episode is.
Oh, yeah. I could try to get, hey, one person.
Hey, it's not singling out if it's just 2 people in a room.
Hey, man, why are you here? What'd you like?
Okay, so follow us on Reddit at Cult Talk Net so Ian don't come off creepy.
Yep.
Right. He
Follow
needs
us
more
on-
people.
Follow us on Instagram. Tyler works really hard to create our content on Instagram.
Yep.
Ursa works really hard to get our videos up on YouTube.
Not really.
Make it sound hard, damn it.
Damn it, we're trying
We're
to sell you.
doing
What I do is I click copy and then I hold down Control Z or Control V.
That's why they don't get up in time. Got it.
He fucked up to one step.
I hold down Control V until the backdrops get all the way to the end of the audio.
We don't know what you do.
And then I put on the outro. Literally the longest part of that job is exporting.
Thank you for working so hard, Ursa, on our
You're
YouTube
welcome.
channel.
I
You're
don't
welcome.
believe he gets that
Appreciate
far.
it. All right.
I work hard, all right?
Michael, thank you, Mike.
You work hard.
we have some hard workers here. Please join the cult, maybe.
It's
I think
still
that's it.
Cultober. We're doing cult movies every Friday
Yes.
on our YouTube. We're doing Cult of Campbell every Monday.
Yes.
Tyler's putting random shit that I don't even have a goddamn fucking clue about on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then every Wednesday this month, instead of every other Wednesday, there's a Cult Talks Weird Shit, and you should watch it.
Oh, weird shit.
Yeah.
Happy fucking Cultober to you guys.
Happy Cultober, you fucking pieces of shit. No, I'm just. What if that's
You're
how
gonna
we end
lose
it?
your
Hey,
one
listen,
Reddit
they could
follower.
be pieces of shit. We'll
What?
still take them as listeners. That's not a moral reflection on us at all.
It's just
We should just end an episode like that at some point without acknowledging it. Just be like, thanks for listening. I hope you die in a car fire. Fuck you.
So thanks for listening till this point.
We do love
If
you,
you're
though.
still there.
Yeah,
Don't
unsubscribe.
put that love on me. I don't know him that well. I've been Michael for the faculty, Cultober, and you've
I'm
been
Ian.
I've been Eric.
I'm Ben.
Ursa.
See you next time, guys.
I'm not putting that hack drug up my nose. It's so 80s.
Aliens are taking over the Earth. Wait.
Guaranteed to jack you.